Alright, so now I'm going to read to you from the book, God's War on Terror, page 313. A Brief History of Mesopotamia. After his first rule, Nebuchadnezzar's empire was first conquered by the Persians under Cyrus and then by Greece under Alexander the Great. After Alexander's death in 323 BC, his empire was divided, and the region of Babylon and Persia was given to one of his generals named Seleucus. Seleucus and his successors ruled the region for roughly 130 years until 190 BC, when the Persian people, called the Parthians, arose again and took control of the former empire. Thus, after having been controlled by the Greeks for well over 100 years, the Persians again controlled the region. Later, after the Parthian Empire, another Persian empire, the Sassanid dynasty, rose up and gained control over the region. Throughout the Partho-Sacian period, the people maintained a strong mixture of both Hellenistic Greek and Persian identity and culture. For this reason, within Nebuchadnezzar's dream, there was no distinction made between the Persian or the Greek empires and the later Parthian and Sassanid empire. It was not until the mighty Islamic Caliphate came and conquered the entire region that the dreams described in the next phase of the statue. During the period of Rome's rule, the region to the east of the Euphrates River, Mesopotamia, was controlled by the Parthian Empire, not the Romans. The wars between Rome and the Parthian Empire, which took place roughly from 53 BC to 217 AD, were a unique episode in classical history. Although Rome conquered nearly the entire civilized world around the Mediterranean, Rome could never conquer Parthia. Consider the following description of the Parthians as recounted by Justin's History of the World. Quote, "The Parthians, in whose hands the empire of the East now is, having divided the world, as it were, with the Romans, was originally exiles from Scythia, being assailed by the Romans also in 3 wars under the conduct of the greatest generals, and at the most flourishing period of the Republic, they alone of all nations were not only a match for them, but came off victorious." Close quote. While the Emperor Trajan did cross the Euphrates River and gain control over a small portion of Mesopotamia within 1 year, actually it was 3 months, I believe, Trajan had died and his victory and control dissolved. Page 314. Did Rome conquer the Babylonians or the Persian empires? Again, the Roman Empire only controlled the ancient city of Babylon for a few months. While Rome did indeed conquer most of the Western Europe and regions surrounding the Mediterranean, it could never maintain any significant control of the regions that were the primary stronghold of the Babylonian Empire, namely the regions east of the Euphrates River, modern-day Iran and Iraq. The guerrilla warfare used by tribal peoples of the Parthian Empire simply proved to be too much for the Roman soldiers to withstand. Rome most certainly did not crush the Babylonian Empire, and really never even came within a few hundred miles of ever seeing the capital of Persia. While the Roman Empire did assume control of some of the regions that were once controlled by the Alexandrian Hellenistic Greek Empire, it was, in fact, the Hellenistic Greek culture that came to dominate the Roman Empire. The New Testament, which was written during the Roman period, was written in Greek, not Latin. In other words, the Roman Empire may have assumed control of some of the western regions once controlled by the Greek Empire, but it certainly did not crush it. And I talked about that in the last video, where Rome was built infrastructure. They didn't destroy. Islam destroys. While the Roman Empire did not fulfill the necessary requirements to be considered as the fourth empire of Daniel 2, there was an empire that did. The Islamic Empire fulfilled these requirements completely. Islam conquered all 3 of the previous empires, Babylon, Medo-Persia, and the Grecian Empire. Bear in mind, Islam also conquered the Roman Empire, which had ceased to exist in Europe. Revelation 13 insists that the fourth beast constitutes the 3 previous empires. This must exclude Europe. Islam conquered the entire Byzantine Roman Empire and large portions of what was the Western Roman Empire. That included Iraq, Babylon, Iran, Persia. The Roman Empire cannot make this claim, and thus only Islam meets the biblical criteria of Daniel 2:40. let's see, it is crucial for Westerns to understand that the fundamental duty of Islam is to Arabize the world, to unite humanity under one language, one government, one religion, Islam. It is an attempt to reverse what God did at the Tower of Babel. In the case of the Islamic Caliphate, crush is most certainly an appropriate description for what occurred when Islam conquered any region. Remember, language, borders, culture. Islam ran rough trot over all of these. This is what it means to crush. Babylon changed its language to Arabic and its religion to Islam. Persia also lost its religion, adopted the Arabic alphabet, and kept its language. Other nations, like Egypt, also completely lost their ancient religion and language and adopted Arabic. These civilizations were all lost to Islam, and only some kept their language. In fact, it would require volumes to recount all the history, culture, and religious influence that have nearly been erased by more than a millennium of Islamic dominance. Well, there's a lot more I could read. It goes on and on to talk about some more of the different, nations. Talking again about Babylon, Persia, and all of them. So, then it gets into another chapter, Daniel 2, 4, 5 empires, or both. So, basically what I'm telling you is, this is a good book to get and read. There's a lot of information in it, and I just wanted to read some of that. I mean, I could sit here and read the whole book to you, but you don't want to hear that. So, anyway, that's just another part of why I believe the Fourth Empire is the Islamic Caliphate. So, anyway, that being said, God bless you.